Hello, love. Welcome. Welcome back, family. I'm sending each and every one of you, whether you're here live with me or on the replay, a great big hug. Lots of love wherever you are here on beautiful Mama Gaia. The focus of this one is on the Empath Starseed journey. We're going to talk very briefly about what this is. And I'm also going to link a video, which I'm going to make a note of the time right now, about the Empath Starseed journey specifically. Really short video that I had done, I don't know, I think it was maybe a couple of months ago. It was the end of November, I think, beginning of December 2025. And in there, I gave a little bit of an update as well to the channel, where the channel was going in terms of the focus and where I'm being guided to go. I have been working the last few months more closely with the energy and consciousness of the Venusians. They also refer to themselves as the Venusian Galactic Council, the Venusian Emissaries of Light. They first really came through here, I think, about a couple of years ago, where one of their representatives, so to speak, Ralph Ray, came through to speak on their behalf. Their focus right now has been very much on right relationship, the energy of right relationship when it comes specifically to empath and empath starseeds. Okay, so this is an energy connected to all empaths across Mama Gaia, because what they're showing me is that empath starseeds are very much aligned to the energy and the mission work, in a way, the embodiment of expanding our understanding and consciousness around relationships and love, the meaning of love. Because for millennia now, empathy in a way has been manipulated and usurped, and especially around concepts that I refer to as faulty empathy, meaning that you are a good person because you do X, Y, Z, which often acts as a detriment to the empath. And there's this thing that gets created called empath guilt, which is a very specific energy frequency that comes as a result of feeling like you can't give enough, feeling like you are somehow failing as a human being. You're failing as a person when you are unable to give when you can no longer give. This is a very twisted, inverted way to think of what it really means to be a good person and what it means to be empathic, what it means to be empathic or an empath. Okay, so they've been coming in a lot to speak to this. And one of the main focuses recently has been around this idea of what are healthy boundaries? What does it mean to exercise those healthy boundaries? And healing the relationship we have with ourselves, fully integrating ourselves, fully embodying our truth. Now, when I say that, please understand, because that can get thrown around a lot. You hear this a lot lately. My truth is this, my truth is that. Like it's some kind of subjective thing that everybody needs to then just accept. When I say your truth here, what I mean is the purity of who you are as a divine being, as a spark of source, okay? And standing your ground, being in your sovereignty, standing your ground and being in your sovereignty and being your own best protector, we could put it that way, your own best It's funny, I'm hearing the word sovereign here, but I'm also hearing savior, like they're giving me a sort of play on words here, okay? So, this has been like a huge focus right now for me and my energy and my soul blueprint and what I'm attuned to doing here as an empath starseed in this lifetime, in this incarnation, okay? And also through my own experiences, which are going to be a part of this, moving forward, because I think it's really important that we share our own experiences. There's something about that in terms of relating and understanding that we're all kind of going through similar things that are very unique. And here's the thing, they're different from empaths who do not necessarily resonate with being starseeds or even spiritual empaths, if we want to put it that way. I know that that's a very broad term, but I feel that those of you who are watching this and who are here right now, you're going to understand that and what I mean by that. So, and I've seen this in readings that I've done one-on-one. I had taken on a client not that long ago. I think it was over the summer. And even though what she wanted essentially was clarity around a relationship, a particular relationship that she was in that had kind of gone through a period of confusion, that had gone through a period of, what is this? I don't even know what it is. And her whole sort of question around it moving forward was, do I make more of an effort here? Is there something really here to be explored? Um, and the thing is that what relationships are tricky. They can be very tricky for someone who is very empathic. We don't do relationships, even just as empaths, we don't do relationships like everybody else. Now, most empaths who don't identify or resonate with being very spiritual or starseeds, they're not going to necessarily understand the concepts that starseeds find very like home. When we talk about metaphysics or the quantum field or ideas of consciousness or resonance or energy, right? So, for example, this is something that I had touched upon in a video that I'd done not that long ago about like what are the main starseed traits, and one of the things that starseeds just get is the concepts around spiritual science. You know, different forms of occult science. Starseeds just sort of get this and they understand frequency, energy, and vibration. When I took this client on, she wasn't attuned necessarily to those things. And I had explained that to her, but she really wanted me to read for her. So I said to her, look, I said, this is how I work. I will do my best to explain to you what it is that comes through, the connections that I see with regard to you, your soul, your energy field, et cetera, et cetera. She was open to that. And it was a really great learning experience working with this particular client, because what I understood was that in ways I could relate to her very much as an empath, but there was a whole other chasm that I was tapping into, that I wanted to share with her and give to her and explain to her, but it was difficult for her to understand. And that particular experience, and I'm thankful to her for that and very appreciative to her for that, because she was open-minded enough to work with me, right? What was really interesting with that experience is coming out of it, I realized this massive significance in that starseed energy, that frequency, the different star families perhaps you work with, and that this is a whole other aspect to being an empath, that someone who just resonates with being an empath is going to have certain difficulties understanding, right? And I'm making this crystal clear. That does not make this person any less than in any way. Absolutely not. Okay. I'm just talking in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration here. We all have a role to play. We all have a very big role to play. My thing is the big part of my mission is to serve this specific combination because there's something so specific about it. And especially with regard to the lineages connected to this, like the Venusians, there is a very, very, very specific energy, frequency, vibration that we're working with here. Okay. So I just want to do a little bit of an energetic check in when it comes to where we are at collectively on our journeys as empath starseeds right now. And the energies that wanted to come in today were the energies of the dragons and the dragon realm and Mana Ekati Hecate. Okay. Obviously, working through the energies of spirit here. And I am getting a lot of angelic energy as well coming through here, a lot of archangelic energy too, a lot of Archangel Sandalphon coming in again. So this is very interesting because Archangel Sandalphon is one of the archangels that for me resonates very much with grounding the light. He came in last live, didn't he? For those of you that were here for the last live, do you remember that? I think he came in. He came in. Yes, he did. He came in briefly. I think in the beginning, and this was again about really taking these energies and embodying them and moving them into the physical with what you do. That is what Archangel Sandalphon is all about. He is all about that. And he can often speak to us. I'm feeling the need to add this here. He can often speak to us through prayer, poetry, words, songs. He gives us a lot of songs, a lot of lyrics, you know, and now I'm hearing with that Lyran as well. Okay, so there's a connection there to the Lyrans, obviously, definitely, always. There is archangelic connection to the different star families. I've always felt a tremendous resonance and felt a resonance with like Archangel Raphael and Archangel Michael being connected with the Lyrans as well. They're all working. We have to remember that they're all working simultaneously together a lot of the times. But it's sort of like it goes back to the energy of frequency, vibration, and how certain energies are just there's overlap and attunement based on the frequency that they hold. The codes that they hold is what they're saying to me. I've got the energy of Commander Ashtar here as well. He always comes in as a guide on our behalf, as a starseed guide, and also the energies of Archangel Michael. Okay, so before I get to a little bit more channeling here and card popping, I just want to check in here with the group 1313 on the counter. I'm telling you, and I got the death card here out on my space deck because me and the death card, we have a very tight relationship. Yeah. So I'm curious, any of you going through any transitions right now, any changes that you're anticipating? All you need to do is just put a little thumbs up or something in the chat. Maybe give a quick sentence as to where you're feeling energetically. When I first tuned in to opening up this sacred space for us, I just felt this tremendous amount of stillness and grounding, wanting to come in on behalf of the dragon realm. And I don't know, did I mention it earlier? Like I had a technical difficulty. That's why I was a little late coming on, you know? Um, and I had to totally do a restart on my computer and then in a very beautiful, lovely way, everything just worked out and divine timing. So funny enough, that's another thing that they're okay. So this has been a thing. It's been a thing for a while now that the hiccups, the things that didn't necessarily go the way you wanted them to go, huge emphasis here on that being your protection in a sense, or you know, how Commander Ashtar is actually bringing it in for me is because remember this restructuring around this idea of protection. It's about sovereignty. This is the energy that we've been moving into. It's not about necessarily feeling like you need to protect yourself. It's more about you just embodying your sovereignty. This is a whole other frequency in terms of understanding your safety, right? So there's that. And then basically, now I lost my train of thought. This is what happens when other things come in. But basically, it's this idea getting back to you embodying that. Can someone remind me what I was just talking about while I get to the chat? This was the energy that was coming in earlier. It's very grounding, it's very still, it's making me woozy. When I'm dealing with stronger energies that are very, very palpable, I can get woozy. This happens a lot with water. Let's see if some water wants to come in today. Who knows? Maybe that's something that's going to show up right now. I'm just going to get to the comments. Hello, Jose. Yes, I connect with the Lyrans. Absolutely. And Archangel Michael. Yep. Soul fam. Definitely. So Archangel Michael, I was that Jose, I'm curious, was that one of the first archangels that you worked with, resonated with, um, connected with? Okay. For me, it's Archangel Raphael and Archangel Michael big time, but I also have an interesting relationship with a couple of other archangels. Archangel Sandalphon came in as well, very strongly for me at one point in my life. A very creative energy, wanting me to sort of ground my creations, so to speak. Okay. Please feel free while we're in the middle of this to leave any kind of comments in the chat. Yes, Jose is writing, Archangel Michael is the first one I was connected to. Yeah, it definitely makes sense, 100%. And I think on the last live, we were talking about you also holding his sword energetically. And I keep on seeing those pyramids as well, Jose, with you too. Okay. There's something about the energy of the pyramids, and this goes back to the empath starseed journey. So they're kind of wanting to tie it back. The empath starseed and this connection to this sacred geometry. And this was the energy of Lazar, who was connected to the Lyrans. And the Lyran, interestingly enough, I'm also getting the Lyran Andromedans as well, the Lyran Andromedan emissaries of light. But it was specifically Lazar, very connected to the Lyran energy, who brought in this alchemical pyramid, okay, of this golden pyramid, this alchemical pyramid of light, which is a pyramid of sovereignty, and it's a transmutational pyramid as well. So it helps us to transmute energy too. The Lyrans are masters at that. They're also masters at understanding the physical body really well, but so are the Venusians. And that's something that I feel we're going to, we're going to be tapping into a little bit more moving forward. Okay, so let's tune in. How about that? Let's take this moment now. I'm going to guide you through basically what we did last time as well. I feel that this is really important for us to do together because there is definitely a big resonance when we do it together. And I invite you just to clock is the word I like to use when you are going through this guided meditation, in a sense, or this guided, it's a practice, it's a tuning practice. Okay. As we're moving through this particular practice, I invite you to just take note of how you're feeling, take note of the energies that are coming up for you, take note of any visions that come forward, any sensations in your body, any knowing that comes up. When we are working with psychic energy and our intuition, okay, we are working with all of them. We're working with clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairvoyance. We're working with all of it. We're working with our body. We're working with imagery. We're working with whatever works for you, okay, whatever you're more closely attuned to. So simply clock into that. All right. So I'm going to invite you now to place your hands over your heart like so. Or you can take, I'm being directed now to say here, whichever hand feels comfortable, your dominant hand on your heart, and put your other hand on your womb. So basically, the dominant hand on the heart, the receiving hand, so to speak, on your womb or your belly, And we're just going to take in 3 deep breaths now. You can close your eyes. You can open your eyes. As a reminder, please be seated with your back supported, feet flat on the floor. Okay? Taking in a deep breath now through the nose, filling the belly, and then releasing it. Let it sigh out. Just really feel your body melting when you do this. Okay? Let's do it a second time now. Breathing in. Holding it a little bit now, just holding it, and then sigh. Just sigh it out. Release. Come into this present moment. Feel into your seat. Feel into your body. One more deep breath now. Deep breath in. Holding it. And just sigh it out. Releasing. Just allowing your body to be where it is right now. Feel it under your hands. Feel your butt in the seat. Feel your feet on the floor, your back against the chair. Taking in another deep breath now at your own rhythm, pace, timing. Letting it out. All right, bringing your attention now to your heart. As you breathe in, you're going to breathe into this physical space in your body. So breathing into the heart and letting it out. Now, as you do this, you may see light. You may feel a certain kind of energy getting amplified in this space, okay? Where your attention goes, the energy flows. So take another deep breath in now, into the heart. Feel into that energy under your hand. And as you breathe out, you're going to direct this energy down the energy centers of your body, down your pillar of light, essentially, okay? Breathing in, moving the energy right down into your solar plexus, taking another deep breath in, into your sacral center, right down into the sacral chakra, moving that energy into the root. Let it flow now. Move it through the hips. Continue to breathe normally like you would. Right through the thighs, into your knees, down your calves, into your ankles, into the bottom of your feet. And as you breathe, this energy continues to flow down through the layers of ground beneath you. So if you're in an apartment building, it's moving down the floors. If you're in a home, it's moving down into the ground as we hit the surface of Mama Gaia. Hello, Mama. And we're going to move that energy right down through the different layers of rock here, sediment, her body. Allow that energy to just flow right through all the different layers. We're going to move right down into her core, moving this energy right down into her crystalline heart. And you can see it now right in front of you. Okay, we're going to tether this energy now to this beautiful crystalline heart core energy, however that shows itself to you. Be open to how it's showing itself to you. You want to tether that energy now right to that space and feel it lock in, because you're going to feel a bit of a here. Feel it in the soles of your feet especially. You feel that? Taking in a deep breath, releasing it. Greeting her here. You are her child. She holds you. Giving her love and gratitude for being here with her. And I'm almost feeling called for some of you to embrace her, to give her a hug. As she holds you, that's what she's doing. Breathing in now, we're going to move back up again. Taking that energy right back up, knowing that as you move out of this energy, you are still tethered to her. She is still holding you. Moving that energy up now, back from where we came, up through the different layers of earth here, up through the different earth realms as we move towards the surface of the earth, moving through the ground now, up into our feet, right back into our ankles, our calves, our knees, our thighs, into our hips, through the root, up through the sacral, right back into the heart here. Okay? Breathing in, taking a deep release here. Okay. And now we're going to move the energy right back up through the remaining centers, moving up now into the throat, up into the ears, into the nose, into the third eye, into our forehead, and right into our crown, moving that energy as it flows up into the soul star chakra, moving right up, 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 up into the sky above us, right into the roof over our head, moving up as we move into the outer stratosphere, moving into the realm of the stars, moving up, moving through the planets. Continue to breathe. Allow this energy to go directly to source. It knows what to do. It knows where source is. See that opening to source now and move the energy through there. And see source energy, however it presents itself to you. The energy of the all that is, the energy of the divine. And you're going to lock this energy right back in here. Essentially, what you're doing here is you're just reinforcing the tethering that's already there. That's all you're doing. It's like you're taking a pencil and you're tracing over again and again this connection here. Feel, see, be here with this energy. Taking a deep breath in, taking it in with your breath. Breath is spirit. Letting it out. Giving it love and gratitude for being here with you. And now moving back out from this energy now, the same way that we came. Moving out through the stars, through the planets, through the asteroid belt. Saying hi to our soul families here. And as we move further out now, back towards the earth, coming down through the sky, coming down through the roof above us, right through our soul star chakra, right through the crown of our head, into our third eye, ears, nose, throat, right back into the heart here, taking a deep breath in. And now you're going to let it out and expand this energy right around you, feeling it in your auric field. It's always there. It's always there. Taking a deep breath in, and with that focus and that breath, you are amplifying your connection to your own frequency, energy, and vibration. The Venusians coming in to add in, you are amplifying your connection here to right relationship. And they're inviting me of your own free will here to make that intention now in this sacred space with us. To say to yourself out loud, I align to right relationship and all that is in alignment with my highest and greatest good, my frequency, my energy, and my vibration. And so it is. La alam amin amen. However you want to close that out for yourself, I invite you to. And when you are ready, you can come fully present into this space with me now, opening your eyes as we move into the next part of this channeling. Okay. I'm going to check in now with the chat, okay, just to see what is up, if anybody's written anything here. And I just want you to take a moment as I check into the chat. You can make a note of this, you can write it down, you can just close your eyes and maybe really try and affirm it. What was coming up for you? Even add it in the chat if you feel comfortable. If there was any sort of imagery that was new to you, any kind of energy that you were tuning into that was new to you, just please share it. Feel free to share below. So Jose is writing, so the mountain that we own, someone told me a society of Lyrans live underneath. Can you pop a card and ask that? If we have enough time after the channeling and all that, Jose, I will. In the following weeks, I will meet Matthias Stefano, yeah, which I was told is an energetic Gaia grid worker. Is that what is that what you've written here, Jose? You revealed to me last week that I'm also a grid worker. Did not know that. So I'm in a journey. Nice. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Jose. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you definitely have that in your blueprint based on what was coming through in the last live that we did. 100%. Very interesting. And I'm not surprised that this is a society of Lyrans that are connected to this 100%. One of the things that's really interesting, and that's synchronicity here, Jose, is just how much the Lyrans work with the sacred geometry and how much I see. Well, I mean, somebody might turn around and go to me, "Well, yeah, Eleni, like, how long have you been around here, reading up on stuff and blah, blah, blah." Well, I haven't, because I'm just sort of doing what I'm doing in terms of the energy that wants to come through with the connection that I have. So sometimes I might bring stuff up and people will say to me, "Yeah, that's like, we've been talking about that for a long time," or "There's always been said connection with Lyrans." But what was very specific for me was this energy of Lazar coming through to use that sacred geometry. And how I've always been shown that pyramids are conduits of energy and they are portals. So pyramids act as way, and that's why Lazar works with pyramids with us, because the pyramid is a way for us to be able to also direct our energy. I'm hearing him say, like magicians. So it's like, this is what pyramids do. Mastery is what I'm hearing him say. Mastery over our energy. And also this connection to the Venusians in terms of um, being emotional or emotion alchemists, emotion athletes. Okay. All right. Let's pop some cards now from my Hecate deck, my Mana Ekati deck. She wants to come through for us. She's coming through with her keys and as a thresholder, which is another confirmation here that we are definitely at different thresholds. Some of us in this particular group here on the live, or those who are going to watch the replay, I always put that intention into these messages that they are connected to her or she is around them in some way, shape, or form. And she's especially wanting to reiterate now that she is working with empaths. She's working with empath starseeds the same way the dragons are. Because one of the things that Mana Ekati is really beautiful at assisting us with is knowing who the shit we are. Okay. That's what she does. I wanted to say, anyway, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I want to say it when it's inspired and it wants to come out. I usually do swear. I like to swear. It's just one of those things. It's cathartic for me. Um, anyway, so sometimes she can come in and she can be a little bit of a badass, and she's just like, you know what? Just this is what it is. This is what's up. Now, obviously, that's the way that I interpret the energy, and that is part of what I'm here to do as someone who channels and who reads energy. Okay. Um, very like I'm a conscious channel, but I can be a trance channel in the sense that sometimes they're specifically saying words and I can hear what they're saying and they're going blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying it word for word. And other times it's me literally, I'm being shown something or her energy just comes in and I'm having to describe it. That's it. Okay, let me just, I see there's some comments here in the chat. Hi, Stephen. No worries, man, because I was a bit late too. I had a bit of a technical thing as well. Hello, Frank Jansen, or is it Jansen? Hello. Hello to you too. Thank you for being here. Okay, Mana Ekati, you can't put your finger on this, so put your soul into it. You can't put your finger on this, so put your soul into it. And at the bottom of the deck, we've got, on the other side of doubt is faith. On the other side of doubt is faith. I'm going to start with just the messages here at the bottom of the deck. So there is a big emphasis on this lately, that in understanding the energy of polarity and contrast, if any of you are also students of Abraham Hicks, this applies, right? So one of the things that Earth School is really great at is contrast and spectrums and polarity. Now she wants me to make a point. This is interesting. So I chose the color for this deck. This is like, what do you call this? Like card paper, right? And I chose gray from Mana Ekati because her energy is like that. Her energy is not, funny enough, wow. Okay. Her energy is not black and white. It's very, very gray. And it can be paradoxical at times. And one of the things that she's taught me is how to deal with contrast and polarity. And understanding that sometimes we might want to hold a particular tenet. She's using that specific word, like a rule, like a tenet, like a law. We might want to just uphold this particular tenet personally in every area of our life, but it actually doesn't work. It causes us more grief and pain because her energy wants to teach us how to dance in a way or move with the energy that isn't so cut and dry. And she's showing me the energy now of the void again. And she's showing me the energy of potential. And she's showing me the energy of the seed. This is a lot of imagery that she likes to bring in. And now she's bringing in the key again. These messages and this imagery has been coming in over and over and over again because we are really dealing with this right now. I mean, just take a look at the state of the world, and I'm putting that in quotation marks because remember that we are also seeing things, we are being presented things, especially with regard to the news, current affairs, and this applies, it's funny because Stephen, a lot of what we were talking about last time is coming up now, okay? What we see day to day, all right? We're being presented, we have to be very, very aware of how there is indoctrination and programming around the way things are being presented to us, especially as empaths and particularly as starseeds together with that. Because the empath side of you is going to also sometimes be at odds with the starseed side of you that is like, you know this, you know that this is all programming indoctrination. You know that these are skewed forms of consciousnesses. You know that there is a kind of harvesting that's going on here. That is part of the equation, right? It is part of the equation. It's part of it though. And there are some people who really go down I'm hearing the annals. Oh man. Yes. The alleyways is what she's showing me, like the rabbit holes, people going down rabbit holes. And they get very stuck there. They can get very stuck there in an energy of polarity. And I'm being given the example here of like when the transition from, wow, so some of us can understand this in terms of the transition from 4D to 5D, because 4D energy can be incredibly discombobulating. That energy can be very murky. It can get murky. It can get very gray. And this is where we need to understand that everything, again, sits on a spectrum. Everything is context in this respect, and everything is nuanced. And while there are very clear laws, we could say, or beliefs that do exist, there is much in between, is what she's showing me, that exists in a very liminal space, like she does. There is much in between that is open to interpretation. There is much in between where we only know a fraction of the truth, or we're only being presented a fraction of the truth. And this is why, as empath starseeds, we really need to learn how to hone our energy, how to hone our intuition, how to hone our discernment. And I want to bring in here, she's reminding me of this concept of judgment, okay? In many, and this is another form of indoctrination in spiritual circles, where we've only gotten, again, a portion of the truth. We've taken tidbits of spiritual teachings and wisdom and knowledge, where one of them specifically is this concept of non-judgment. And this is a big one for empaths, is what she's showing me. This is a really hard one for empaths. Empaths struggle with this tremendously. We struggle with, oh, I don't want to be judgmental, or I don't want to be judgy about this particular person. When our intuition is so on point, it's ridiculous. And yet we're talking ourselves out of something because we're seeing things from a very skewed lens in terms of the potential of someone that they have yet to embody. Is this making sense? If this, put a thumbs up in the comments or the chat if this is on point here for you, for some of you. We really need to understand how nuanced that is. It's very nuanced for the empath, okay? Yeah. Amazing, Stephen. Yeah. Oh, okay, hold on. You're rewriting. I only got a portion of that, but I'm probably picking up on it right away. So, one of the things that we really need to understand is spectrum. So this is what she's saying here. Thank you, Stephen, for that confirmation. Stephen is saying yes. So what she's saying here is that on the other side of doubt is faith. We need to understand that everything, it all sits in Earth School, everything sits on a spectrum. The law of polarity is a law of polarity for a reason. Okay? Laws are pretty black and white, but even in law, is what she's showing me, even in the legal system, even with laws, people bend. People bend our perception of that. And this is why it goes right back to the energy that you're tapping into, the frequency, the vibration, and discernment. So when I hear things like, oh, I don't want to judge, and I would rather just sort of be neutral about everything, or kind of sit on a fence about stuff, when I hear that sort of thing being propagated in a way, and there's a kind of, without context, okay, without a certain degree of context, my little like extraterrestrial antennas go up, because I'm like, okay, well, wait, who's saying that though? Like, because as spiritual beings, as empath starseeds, discernment is huge. It is the most spiritual thing you can do when you are in service to love and truth. Okay? It is the most spiritual thing that you can do. And so while there are contexts where we need to be very wary of where we're projecting judgment on someone else, 100%. We even do it to ourselves. We even do it to our own selves, right? Where we kind of judge it, being really hard or critical or judgmental of our own selves, right? And a lot of that has to do with just how we're raised. A lot of that has to do with like ancestral stuff. It has to do with, school. It has to do with culture, fill in the blank, right? On the other hand, we also need to understand that your intuition is your birthright, and there's intuition and discernment here for a reason. And especially if you resonate with being a light warrior or a spiritual warrior or a starseed or whatever, like if you're resonating, I mean to say here, being on a mission of some sort to expand consciousness here on Mama Gaia, to heal, to be in service of love and to be a beacon of that. I mean, she's saying to me, just give the example of Jesus. Just give the example of Christ, And the thing is, granted, we have got an interpretation of his story, very specific interpretation of his story, but specifically the energy of Christ, who the incarnation, right, of this soul that we commonly refer to as Jesus and Jesus Christ. What did he truly stand for? And was he just sitting there going, "No, it's all cool. We're not gonna call anybody out on their crap. I'm not gonna be discerning." Need I say more, right? So it's very, again, it's all about exercising this muscle. It's a muscle. Your discernment is a muscle. And she's bringing me back to intention again. And this goes back to the sovereignty practice, and this goes back to a daily practice of making that intention. I am aligned to truth. I'm aligned to my intuition, clear discernment. I'm aligned to discerning what is right or wrong for me, what is in alignment with my highest and greatest good. Use the type of language that you find empowering for yourself. We're all going to be slightly different with that. Some people don't like using right and wrong, okay? Use what works for you. And part of that goes back to your own understanding of self and self-knowledge, right? Γνώθη αυτόν, which is what this is the biggest thing. It's knowing yourself. Okay. You can't put your finger on this, so put your soul into it. This is just another confirmation of, if you can't put your finger on it, you need to tune in to your discernment, your intuition. Your intuition is your discernment, okay? Now, they're reminding me, because I'm going to get to the dragons now. We're going to get to this tuning into the energy of the dragons here with her. Again, her energy with the dragon energy, it all works together, right? They're coming in to reiterate here the importance of us grounding. This grounding practice that we do at the beginning of every live so far is a way for us to really tune into that. The more grounded an empath starseed is, the more discerning they are. And remember, she's reminding me to say to each and every one of us here that the crown chakra is connected to the root chakra. That's how the chakras work. They work in tandem with each other. So the more spacey and up in your head you're going to be, the less grounded you're going to be. When you're too grounded, you have no access to the more etheric, right? We need to find a balance between both. However, when you are already oriented to the etheric as an empath starseed, especially to the feeling aspect of being an empath, at the frequency energy of just being able to tap into all these energies, you need that more. You need it more. You need to get more. You need to get grounded as a daily practice, as a sovereignty practice, whenever you feel whenever you feel, you need to kind of have this in your tool belt, is what she's showing me. Some kind of, even if it's a quick practice, you're out about doing things during the day, clearing and grounding, right? Transmuting, grounding. Some kind of little, some kind of practice in your toolkit that I hope that, each and every one of you here right now or on the replay will have. If you do, put that in the chat. And if you're interested in learning a practice like that, let me know, and maybe I will do it on the next live. Just something quick that you can do. Okay. I'm going to be asking through Carolyn Mitchell's Dragon Path Oracle cards. She's got a book. I have yet to finish it, but I'm going to share it with you here. It's called How to Live with Dragons. If this is pulling you in any way, I just want to share it with you because I have not finished this. There's a lot of guided meditations and different practices in this particular book. So it takes a little time to get through. Beautiful resource. I like her. I like her energy and stuff like that. I'm going to be asking through her oracle cards, and I'm also going to be asking through the Tarot of Dreams tarot deck. Now, on that note, I do want to mention, how's the dream situation going on for each and every one of us? Dreams have been very interesting lately. I've been seeing a lot of timeline collapsing in dreams. I'm also seeing a lot of clearing out of old residual energy, emotional kind of stuff clearing out in dreams. But I'm also seeing a lot of mission work in dreams as well on the astral. Okay. And I do want to add at this point, working with some crystal energy. Okay. First for the dreams is black kyanite. Black kyanite is a beautiful crystal to work with when we're tuning into astral energy and astral travel. And I also find it really beautiful to work with in dreams. I'm feeling the need to share that with you, or being called to share that with you as well. The other one that's really beautiful is amethyst. I don't have any amethyst to hand. I've got my amethyst ring on here, but you can work with amethyst as well for that. So that's something that they just want to kind of add in here. And the energy and the frequency of the crystal we're working in before we get into this channeling is black tourmaline. And I've got 2 pieces of black tourmaline here. They're polished, but I'm going to bring those in to this particular reading. Now, one thing that I actually find very helpful that I will share with you here in terms of when you're out and about doing things and really needing to ground or shield your energy or transmute energy is to invoke the frequency of black tourmaline in your energetic field. And I actually, I'm not going to say anything yet here. I'm curious, when you do this, what comes up for you? Okay. Literally, sorry if I knocked the thing there and made a noise. What this does is it brings in the frequency of black tourmaline. We can do this with all crystals, and it brings it into your energy field, and you can actually see it start to work within your energy field. So you can use this in combination with just getting centered and grounded and breathing, right, into the space wherever you are. Starting by clearing out your energy field, or just right away asking this crystal energy to come in. Black tourmaline is a great crystal for empaths. It's one of the crystals that I find is foundational for empaths to work with. That, and funny enough, I'm getting the combination of this and rose quartz. They're both really good to work with if you're trying to transmute a lot of emotional buildup or energy is what they're showing me. But I'm telling you, like, black tourmaline is it's a good one. So is black onyx. They're both really phenomenal at transmuting energy. And they can teach us how to do that. If you are open to working with crystal energy, crystals have so much to teach us. Just sit with them in meditation. Just sit with them. Take them with you every day, going what you're doing. Like, create a relationship with them, and they will teach you phenomenal things. Okay. All right. I'm going to start by popping some cards here. Okay. Just to do a little energetic check-in on behalf of the Empath Starseed collective here, asking the dragons to come through for this. And I'm getting the green dragon is front and center. I'm also seeing the red dragon coming through with that. These are all dragons that sit on particular frequencies and rays. They're also showing me how they're connected to the different chakras as well, our energy centers. And I'm also seeing a golden dragon as well. That is often connected to our soul star chakra, our crown. It can be connected to as well. And the dragon of courage coming out here. We're going to pop a few here. So we've got courage coming out. That's the number 9. The energy of the hermit. When did this come out last time? This came out in a reading not that long ago. Avebury matriarch. Number 13. That's the death card again, you know, Mr. Death card coming out. It's connected to Hecate as well. This energy of liminal space is how she's showing it to me. The number 13. Okay. Merlin the dragon. Number 21. That's the world card. Okay. So already just another big emphasis on cycles closing, new ones beginning. I'm also hearing another ego death. I'm hearing goodbye to the old self. And we're with you because we're in it to win, is what they're saying to me. That's the red dragon. A lot of Mars energy coming through with that too. A lot of Mars energy. Destiny is at the bottom of the deck, number 15, which is the devil card. Now, understanding the devil card, just like the death card, it's not so scary as it looks. The devil energy is an energy of, in its highest octave, it's turning shit into gold. It's like all the illusion, all of the preconceived ideas about stuff that I just, I was like brainwashed with, like all the programming, all the indoctrination, that's actually the route to awakening. And awakening is simply remembering. It's remembering the truth of who you are. There's a reason why the devil card is connected to Capricorn energy and Saturn, right? And again, she's saying all on a spectrum, because there are some people that are going to tell you, oh my God, I'm literally hearing that Saturn is the devil in all of these kind of, different kind of galactic things that we start to get into and yada, yada, yada. But everything sits on a spectrum. Everything sits on a spectrum. Okay. There are aspects of Saturn that are absolutely like, just, I'm hearing the word degrading. I'm hearing deafening with that. I'm even hearing deadly. Okay. So there are aspects of this particular energy that there's a reason why depictions of Saturn have to do with Father Time. And then Father Time kind of looks like the Grim Reaper, right? With his Sith and all that. This is an energy that's very harsh. It can be very harsh. It can be very cold, cutthroat, very rigid, right? But then there are aspects to that, like I'm getting the analogy of, I can't remember who said this. It was an astrologer who was talking about Saturn in astrology and how Saturn is that teacher who was like the taskmaster. It was that teacher that was like, gave you such a hard time all freaking year. And you hated him. It was this energy of like, oh my God, like nemesis. Okay. Like I know. And yet at the end of the year, and this is where things can shift if we're talking about it from a higher perspective and a higher octave, At the end of the year, you got an A in that class and you're flabbergasted because you're like, and then, he turns around, this teacher, and he says to you, see? I knew you were capable. I knew you were able to do it. And there's a certain truth to that, but then there's also other aspects to that that can be very trying, right? So when we're tuning into, and this is sort of a reflection right now, what Mana Ekati is showing me, this is a reflection of kind of where we're at as empaths right now, collectively, struggling with this, but also becoming more enlightened about it. She's showing me all of the spectrums. Some of us are kind of in the thick of it. Some of us are going through moments where we're like, really, again? Again? This is happening? Like I thought I did that. I thought I healed that. I thought I got over that hurdle. And another test and another test and another test, and you're kind of going like, okay, you know what? I'm tired. Courage, my love. Courage. And remember that you're not in it alone. And there's so much going on right now. She doesn't want to go kind of off into this, but what she's showing me is that you have to also look at it from a collective timeline point of view, your own personal timeline point of view, what's going on in the world, and going back to like what happened earlier before the live today, where like it didn't start, something was up with the chat. I had to like restart the computer and I was a little late getting on. Divine timing is that. It's because sometimes you need to kind of do something again, or go back over your notes, or study something one more time, or remind yourself of something again, because something moving forward is going to be integral to that. And so one thing that really helps with this is to move out of a kind of microscopic like view of what's going on right now, and start to see it from a bigger perspective, and ask your higher self, ask spirit, ask your guides to assist you with this. Ask for assistance, because there's tons of assistance right around energetically for us right now. 100%. We just need to start speaking up. We really do. We need to start talking. We need to start connecting more with each other. And we need to start talking to our actual guides. And we need to start talking to those energies. And we need to keep these lines of communication clear and open. And we also need to affirm and make sure that we're affirming our sovereignty in that we're saying, you know what? And that you do not consent in any way, shape, or form to any kind of distortion, any kind of, illusion around what it is you're receiving, the energy that you're connecting to. It's very important to do that. Okay. Very important to do that. All right. So we've got Courage, Avebury Matriarch, and Merlin the Dragon. These are some big energies that are wanting to come in to assist us. I'm going to read the excerpts from the book here because they are so specific and directly channeled by Carolyn Mitchell through these dragon energies. Okay. So Courage says, "You are safe. It's fine to be strong and vulnerable at the same time. You are capable of a great many things, and it's time to acknowledge them and to believe in you and to believe in yourself. Your depth of character is your ally. Your ability and tenacity are your anchors. Now is the time to own them. Be brave. Stand tall. You've got this." And I keep on hearing now, in for the win. So this goes back to everything that you have done, everything that you have lived through and experienced. And they're bringing it right back to Earth School, specifically in this lifetime. The difficulties, everything is shaping you and making you who you are. This goes back to that Saturn energy coming through with destiny at the bottom of the deck, 15, connected to the devil card. Okay. If you feel connected to, you can actually call upon these dragon energies. Okay. If you want to connect with courage. She's written here, Carolyn Mitchell, that courage is a great meditation partner. And listen to this. She assures you that everything is exactly as it's supposed to be, even if you are unable to see the bigger picture. Okay. This goes right back to what we were talking about. That's a little part of the guidebook there. So call upon her and ask for this assistance in seeing the bigger picture. Commander Ashtar is also really great at that too. And also Archangel Michael, he can give us a lot of clarity around that. So feel free to call upon those energies if that's, something that's resonating for you. Okay, so they're directing me to go straight to Avebury Matriarch, not to read the Destiny. They want me to go to Avebury Matriarch, which is 13, right? These are part of the Galactic Dragons, the Galactic Dragon family. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Galactic Dragon. That's the I think Merlin is that one. But there may be something to that in terms of the Galactic Dragons with that. Okay. Wow. This dragon comes in with the strength and power to delve deep into our ancestral past and bring healing. She usually follows the matriarchal line back through the passage of time. She states, the time has come to release the chains that bind the continued pain. And this is really specific for empaths, okay, from your ancestors, which has been passed down from generation to generation. You do not need to own this, as it is not and never was your pain to bear. She says, I will guide you to discover the best way you can heal and leave the pain of your ancestral past behind. Old family wounds only fester on a deeper level if not acknowledged and released. They serve you no purpose in your journey now. Okay, what she's bringing through for that very specifically is the ancestry of empaths. I'm actually seeing like a line energetically of empaths, of highly sensitive people throughout time. And just as we are clearing our own specific ancestral lines, we're also doing that in the empath lines. Because there's going to be someone down the line in your family that shares the same sensitivities you do, but it doesn't even have to be in your family. It's any empath energetically. Because it's a frequency holding. It's how she's showing me how they're all connected. Like we're all energetically connected as empaths, specifically empath starseeds. Specifically is what she's saying. And how that's very specific to the empath starseed journey is clearing out the consciousness, clearing out the energy of empaths and their frequency and their vibration, the vibration that they hold. That's big. I'm feeling like a massive pressure in my head talking about that. That's a huge thing for empath starseeds. So know that if you're doing that, even just in your ancestral line with empaths, in your family for that matter, or in extended family, you're doing that for all empaths at the same time. Any empath that has ever lived, any empath that has ever incarnated is what she's saying to me. That's a huge thing. Just the amount of pressure I'm feeling right now in my body and in my head, it's just massive. It's like a huge, huge thing. It's a big deal, is what she's showing me. And this is why we've got Merlin the Dragon coming out, because this is about alchemy. This is about transmutation and alchemy. And she's showing me the importance of working with the violet ray and violet energy, purple energy, transmutational energy, and again, the alchemy of gold, the alchemical pyramid. Okay. Okay. Let's get to Merlin. Whew. Okay. Where am I now? I don't even know where I am. It's overwhelming. This energy is overwhelming. Okay. Merlin is a grand master dragon. Of course he is. It's Merlin the dragon. Okay. He is an incredibly large and sage old dragon whose message is one of teaching and learning. This is what you're learning to do as an empath starseed. One of the biggest things you're learning is this transmutation of emotion and being an emotion alchemist. Okay, I'm going to read you what his excerpt is, what his message is. Not all things are as they seem. Some are images being reflected back to you in order for you to understand discernment and learn the lessons of self-trust. Only once you have done this will you discover how to stand in your own power and own who you truly are. Merlin is the teacher of the teachers, so heed his wise counsel. You are unable to teach others until you fully understand the lessons yourself. Once you have mastered these, you are in a position of clarity and ownership and can share your wisdom with integrity and power. Until then, hold your tongue and continue your journey, discovering what you need to learn, understand, and own. Only then will you be in the place of authority to share your knowledge with others. What I'm also getting with that is that some of us know exactly what to say, what to do, what to offer, what to teach, and yet we're still kind of holding ourselves back. We're not fully standing in that authority yet. And the time is now for us to do that. It's again, just like with the muscle of discernment. This is a muscle of sharing, right? This is a muscle of showing up. So some of us are also on that particular path and that journey. Okay. Any questions yet here? I'm just going to move to the chat, going to check in for a moment here because we are just over an hour. Stephen said, I had that. I said, no, I'm not going into another relationship because it's just going to be more lessons to learn. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I get it. I get it completely. I'm curious if for some of you, you're just, right off the bat, like it's just becoming so crystal clear, like there's no point. Like you just know moving forward that it's a frequency thing. It's an understanding of like whether you feel that you're in frequency with this person. That doesn't mean, and I want to make this absolutely clear, that doesn't mean that you're exactly the same. Far from it. You could be doing many different things in your life. You could hold very different opinions about things, but it's a frequency share that's there. Like the intention is very similar, right? I keep on getting the Venusians they always are reminding me lately of like people who hold a love frequency. Like you just kind of know, you get it. You know, also a frequency in terms of where their consciousness is at, right? So you can tell, especially when it comes to like relationships, big time. Like you start getting into this thing where you're sort of like, it could be simple things like you can just it's very hard to explain though. It's very hard to explain. I find it difficult to explain. Mana Ekati is saying to me, give examples, but understand that again, everything's connected to energy and it's nuanced, right? So, thank you, Mana. Yeah, she's showing me. Okay, a really good way to understand this is what is it that I'm hearing like the phrase that holds precedence in a relationship for you. So one of the things for me, she's advising me to share one of my things. And I had to go through like a marriage and a divorce to understand this, you know? And that was a huge part of me as an empath on a journey. That could be a share for another time. Tea time, coffee time with Eleni. Um, with me, it's like what I came to understand, and I fought myself on it for a while because I never actually wanted sort of the standard programming around relationship, meaning standard programming, okay? And I'm not judging anybody who, in a bad way, discernment, judgment, but you know what I mean? I'm not everybody has what they want. And in terms of what they're attuned to, is what she's saying to me, consciousness wise, what they're attuned to, right? So for me, relationship, and I was not really conscious of it, I think earlier on in my life, but I sure am now. For me, it's always been about evolution and growth, and someone who is very attuned to that, someone who gets that. Also, a depth of emotional feeling and understanding, and being able to talk about those things and alchemize those things together, supporting each other in that journey. This also is about being with a person and another individual who sees you fully. Okay. Is this all resonating for some of you? I mean, I understand it's a bit of a personal thing, but I feel it's really important to share that as an empath starseed, because I feel that that is a big part of our journey. There has to be some kind of evolution and growth in our relationships. And there has to be some, what I'm hearing Mana Ekati say, some kind of soul expansion in relationships. And also feeling safe that you are being seen for who you are. And that you can have conversations with people where you open up and get the feedback or the support you need to grow. Okay. But I get it. Let me tell you, I get it. Look what's at the bottom of the deck. The priestess, the high priestess. Okay. Again, this energy of discernment. I'm trying to, there we go. So you can see her. She's clear. She's beautiful. Okay. What's really interesting again is I'm being reminded by Mana Ekati to look at things in terms of polarity. So here we've got sort of magnetizing. These two pillars are very alchemical in nature in terms of representing the masculine and the feminine, and understanding that even though the high priestess is connected to divine feminine energy, it is at the end of the day about a reordering or rebalancing of that in a way, right? That's what she's saying to me. The essences of the masculine and the feminine remain the same. They don't change, but it's about, I mean, one of the big reasons why we're here is to redress that balance, right? Okay, so some of us feeling a little heavy right now. A little heavy right now. This is Saturn and Sag. Sag and Saturn, yeah, they're not really talk about like contrasting energies, right? So I'm hearing like grit and grind here. This is the 10 of wands. So we're ending out a cycle, going back to, these energies coming out here. Merlin, number 21, correlating with the world card. Okay. The death card, right? We did get 13 come out with the Avebury matriarch. Mana Ekati here with us as well. The energy of these dragons as well coming in to assist us with that, because I'm hearing we're needing to drop a burden now, but we're also understanding that the burden that we're needing to drop was kind of really never our burden, in a very personal way. They're burdens that we've taken on through false programming, is what the dragons are saying. And there's a lot of transmutation that's going on in that respect with this fire energy. And again, because we're working with the 10 here, when you reduce the 10, you get a 1. So this comes back to the self. We're going back into a fresh start, so to speak. Like the restart I had to do on my computer earlier. 7 of Cups. And with that restart, there's going to be a lot of choice. Okay. Venus in Scorpio. Well, I mean, we're talking about relationships, right? So Venus in Scorpio is a pretty intense Venus, but she's a Venus that is also very plutonic in nature. So it goes back to the death card and it goes back to this energy of transformation. That's what it represents. So through the transformation that you are embodying and experiencing, you're creating a new beginning for yourself. This is also another confirmation when it comes to the Empath Starseed journey of this evolution of consciousness around relationships and the experience of relationships, because that's what Empath Starseeds, one of the main things they're here to do, is to evolve and grow our consciousness. Yes. Wow. Around relationships. We've got the Star and the Palace of Cups coming out here. Beautiful. I'm hearing beautiful emotional reintegration. Beautiful emotional reintegration of the highest order. The Palace of Cups, in this deck, the Palace of Cups is like the highest order of the cups. It's like the cup realm, and it's the most exalted form, okay? So it go in this particular deck, you go from the Ace of Cups and you move right up past the King of Cups into the Palace. And it represents embodiment. That's what it represents here. It's representing the embodiment of this emotional alchemy. There's something here about the Star card. Well, I'm hearing with that it's connected to the Aquarian age, and this is consciousness again. So water representing consciousness and being the bearer of new forms of consciousness as a star seed. And as an empath star seed, wow, it's this Palace of Cups. It's this emotional mastery. It's this understanding it around through an emotional lens. And of course, the Star reduces to an 8. So this is an energy also of, I'm hearing infinite potential and embodiment of that, because that's what the 8 represents. The 8 also it represents mastery. That's what it represents. We have faith at the bottom of the deck. Cannot emphasize this enough, the energy of faith, which is the Hierophant, okay? But I love that it's faith in this deck, because that's a whole other octave of what the Hierophant can represent, right? On the other side of doubt is faith. Faith. On the other side of doubt is faith. So this is how this card, I read this card in this particular deck. This is about like highest enlightenment, like masters. We're talking about the energy of the masters here. And as you can see, all the different sort of faiths are represented here in this circle of fire, of light, what I'm seeing here. So, what's the language of faith that speaks to you, right? And this goes back to knowing yourself. Henothis Afton, which was one of the tenants at Delphi, right? This is exactly what we're talking about, the energy of the masters, of those who held the codes, is what I'm hearing. Each and every one of us holds codes, right? And now they're bringing me back to the energy of Saturn and this idea of discipline and routine and honing those skills of mastery. Start with the intention, is what Mana Ekati is saying to me. This is really important. Do not overlook the power of your intention and your affirmation in everything you do every day. Make this a practice, make this a daily practice. There are actually some really phenomenal affirmations, like guided affirmation stuff that you can find here on YouTube. Like, be discerning. That goes without saying in terms of the who you're listening to, you know. It has to jive with you. It needs to feel right, first and foremost. It's funny. I'm feeling guided, and you can let me know in the chat or in the comments even after on the replay here if you would be interested in me making something like that, because there's something about the affirmations that are so specific to empath starseeds is a thing. Now, that's to assist you, to support you in that. You can do this yourself. You can affirm it to yourself daily, and you can write them out for yourself, and you can open up sacred space and sit in meditation and see what comes through for you for that, what is in alignment with your highest and greatest truth and in love. Okay? Make the intention to embody what it means to be an emotional alchemist. Make the intention to embody what it means to alchemize any energies that are not yours and not in alignment with your highest and greatest good and truth. Make that intention. Make the intention to be a master of your own emotions and your energy field. Make it an intention. It starts there. And then your energy, I guarantee you, as an empath starseed, because you already have this amplified energy field, it's going to start happening. You're going to start seeing things pop up in your reality that are going to align you to that, and follow your intuition. Follow your intuition when it comes to all of that. All right. I'm going to wrap this live up. Just want to take a quick look at the comments here and see if anyone has added anything. Any questions, any inquiries, any concerns? Now is the time to do it. And who is still here in the chat? Jose, are you here? Hi, Stephen. Any questions, any kind of concerns, anything moving forward? I hope that you're all seeing as well the posts that I'm making in the community section, because I will be doing updates on the lives and what we'll be talking about in that particular section, and in any changes to the channel going forward. There are going to be some changes, because that's just the way that my life rolls, and in this incarnation, what I'm here to do. So moving forward, there will be some changes of the life path number readings, how they're going to be here, how they're going to be available. There's just going to be some changes moving forward. Okay. And I also invite you in the post section just to keep an eye on that, because I basically will be putting a lot of kind of updates there moving forward, and obviously posting some videos on that too. Okay. Tips for remembering your dreams. Yes, Stephen. Okay. Couple of things here, because this is something that I had gone through as well. Some basic things. Basic things like, how are you physically before you go to sleep? Okay. That's a huge thing. Getting yourself into the most relaxed state that you can get into before you go to bed. And it can be difficult, because we now have phones and computers and things we like to play and put on in the background that can actually disrupt that. They can disrupt that. It can also be a good thing, though, because there are resources online, like listening to a certain specific frequencies before you go to bed, right? That can attune you to soul memory or remembering your dreams. There are certain ones like that, if I recall correctly, on YouTube. Like if you do a search for that, like, meditation or music to help you remember your dreams. If you look that sort of stuff up, there are resources there that might help you with that. I find that meditating right before you go to bed, right before you go to sleep, okay, putting on some kind of frequency or music or sound in the background. I love working with water sounds or wave sounds. I find those incredible to work with. I also recently discovered, oh my God, what's this guy's name? Let me see if I can quickly open it. Can you still see me if I go to another? Yeah, okay. He works with different kind of, I think they're called isochronic. Let me see if I can find this guy's. Just bear with me here. He has a channel called Sound Asleep ASMR, but it's not ASMR like you would think it was ASMR, even though I love ASMR. Okay, I'm a huge ASMR fan. He's a sound engineer who creates sounds very much in alignment with like polyvagal, neuro kind of attunement frequencies, nervous system calm, that sort of thing. Really, really great. His stuff is really great. So I've been listening to that recently. I'm finding that that's helping me. So meditating before bed, having that kind of sound before you go to sleep, making the intention to remember your dreams upon waking or whenever you need to, whenever it's integral for you to remember, because that's another thing. Sometimes you need it's the timing of it. Okay. Also, working with any guides or energies before you fall asleep, you can ask Archangel Michael to watch over your body and your soul, your energy field as you sleep and assist you in remembering your dreams. If you work with crystals, I find amethyst is the best crystal to work with to remember your dreams. And selenite can also be really good too. I've worked with both. I've tried like the classic ones like red jasper, and I can't remember, there was another one that was supposed to be really good for dream recall. Did not work for me. So you also have to attune to what works for you and see if that's something that will help, you know? I also find that when you wake up first thing in the morning, if I have time, I'll do a dream journal, but I do a voice note. That's the best way. Like, it's just like bomb. And you're like, okay. And you say the dream, and it's hilarious listening back to those because you sound like so out of it. But like, best way to do it. So try those things and explore it as well for yourself. See what you think might help you, because sometimes it's actually a very personal thing. Follow your intuition on it. I followed my intuition with amethyst and doing the meditation before bed because I tried all the things. I was trying all the things. And then basically I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just tune into what feels right for me. And you can ask your guides, you can work with those energies, those trusted energies as well. And get back to me and see what works for you. Thank you, Stephen. Excellent. I'll look his channel. Yeah, check out his channel. I do have amethyst. Amazing. Yes, voice note to myself might work better. Definitely. It's just, you know what? What's great about it is that like you can close your eyes, and because you're still in that in-between state, you're able to still access that flow of the dream and see it again in your mind's eye. Literally recall it in your mind's eye in that in-between state. Yeah, check that guy out. Sound Asleep ASMR. Sound Asleep ASMR. And like I said, he's a British sound engineer who creates all the sounds you hear on his channel, okay? And he's using a range of objects found. It's really interesting. Just it's really cool what he does. I think it's been working for me. And I really like it so far. And I like that a lot of his videos after they go to like a black screen, right? So it works. Yeah. So we'll do a little check-in in a bit. See what works for you. Okay, so Jose, you're still here. I would like to pop a card for you as we thank you, Stephen. I would like to pop a card for you. I don't know. If I do little hearts, can you guys see that? Can you see it if I do little hearts? I'm trying to press those hearts and whatnot. I hope you can see it. I still have to get used to how to use this chat and stuff like that. All right. So Jose. Oh, good. Thanks, Stephen. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for asking. And I hope that see what works, like I said. All right, Jose. You want me to pop a card for you, eh? We're gonna end the live popping a card for Jose here, and then I just want to finish off with giving each and every one of you a little offering for being here. Okay. Okay, so this is the mountain that we own. Someone told me the Society of Lyrans are underneath. Can you pop a card and ask about that? What specifically? Just in general about the energy there? Kind of any information that wants to come through on that? I'm going to pop from the tarot. That's how I'm being guided to. Let's just see what wants to come through for you there, Jose. Any kind of information. And I'm curious. Jose, if you're still here, a society of Lyrans live underneath. What I'm okay. Already, I'm getting the connection of the energy between the Lyrans and the pyramids. Now, someone told you that. First and foremost, I want to ask you, Jose, if that's something that pings for you. I'm getting a lot of just. Thank you, Jose, for being here. I'm getting. Codes with that. That's what I'm getting. As I said that, a card popped out. So let's see. Well, that's interesting. Knight of Swords came out for that particular. The Knight of Swords. And we've got the Six of Coins at the bottom of the deck. Okay. The Six of Coins always is connected to some kind of, I'm hearing soul memory, soul contract with that. I'm getting the energy of that with soul remembrance. Okay. And the Knight of Swords is always this energy of communication and something moving in fast. Messages, some kind of messages coming in with regards to that. Okay. I'm getting with that, Jose, I'm hearing the energy of the Lyrans is strong with you. There's some kind of encoded message here that's privy to you and you alone. So there's nothing more that I can share in terms of that, because it's very specific to you needing to know that. And because this obviously is a public, we're doing this in a very public space, there is a kind of protection around that, right? There is a kind of energy of, again, being discerning. But I'm seeing a sword. They're really emphasizing the energy of the sword here. You know what's interesting is that in this particular Knight of Swords deck, okay, so we're obviously dealing with air energy here. We have the combination of Aquarius and Capricorn. Both of those signs is traditionally associated with Saturn. So, a lot of what we've talked about today pertains to this particular situation. Isn't that interesting? And especially with the energy of grounding. Oh, man. And then they're just showing me again, going back to um, grounding, being in this physical space, being in the physical space, being actually there as a grid worker. Yes, they have seen them there. It's where I want to build a hospital for the souls. Okay. Yeah. So, what's really interesting with a lot of galactic energy is just how much it can exist within our physical reality in specific places and portals and places where you wouldn't even think they'd be there, right? This is a fast moving energy. This is a high frequency, fast moving energy. It's an active energy, is what I'm feeling with that. And I'm seeing a lot of yellow and golden light here, which is connected to it is an energy that's connected to the Lyrans. Okay. But there's something here about, I keep on hearing codes and messages and soul remembrance. So there's something about this particular place. And I mean, I'm curious, Jose, have you been there? Have you already been there? Have you already visited this place? Is this a place you have yet to visit? Because the knight is indicating action. The knight is indicating here taking a course of action and acting upon this. Because the feeling that I'm getting here is like, you know. So there's more of, it's more about you actually acting upon that. Now there is a sort of energy here of making sure. I'm hearing the word fail safe. I'm hearing that phrase. Like, it's important to have something to like not fall back on necessarily, but like making sure all your ducks are in a row to a certain degree, right? Okay, it's very cryptic. It's very like, and obviously there's a reason for that, right? Because there's something very specific for you, and I can only share so much publicly with that. All right. I hope that that's helped in some way. If you want to work with me, you know where to do that. There's all that. And I know that we've talked about this before, I think through comments, right? So, all of my information for working with me, it's on the main channel page. It's in each and every description box in all of the videos. I hope that this has helped. I hope in some way it's given you some kind of, I'm hearing nudge is what they're saying to me. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of move back from that energy now. Thank you, Jose, for being here. It's always a pleasure to be here for each and every one of you. I'm going to end this live by giving each and every one of you a very special offering. One of the packages that I offer is the wild card reading or the wild card session, where essentially it's kind of like everything I do here on YouTube, right? You can ask one particular question, and within 7 days, I send you a video response. So it's your own personalized reading, accessible to you whenever you want, again and again. There's no need to make an appointment, so it kind of helps because it can be sort of, there's no time constraint on it. Okay. And it's one of the readings that I was guided to give as an offering to people because I obviously work with, my guides, spirit, and whatever collectively is needed right now. Okay. So basically what I'm going to do here is, for any of you, you're only going to be privy to it if you're on the live. Okay. And I'm going to only connect it to these particular live readings. I have an offer right now where essentially you're going to get 33% off this reading with a code live 7. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the chat here. Let me see if I can actually do this very quickly. So essentially, you're going to just put this in and you will get 33% off any of those readings. And this is my thank you, to each and every one of you who showed up today. Okay. I won't be putting this in the comments. I realize that obviously people can watch back on this on the replay. I've only allowed 7 spots for this, essentially. So it's the first 7 people that use this code, they will get that particular offering from me. Okay. It's a thank you. It's just a thank you from me to you for being here, for being a part of the channel, and for being a part of this family, and for sharing, for being brave enough and courageous enough to share. Okay. I'm going to end the live here. I thank each and every one of you for being here. Like I said, stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you're getting the updates in the community section, in the post section, any kind of updates moving forward as I do a little reshuffling and reorganizing. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm sending each and every one of you so much love wherever you are here on beautiful Mama Gaia, as always, in love and liberation. Bye, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.